This whole thing started because of a blue umbrella. I was standing outside a coffee shop one wet September morning, waiting for my Uber after a rough night shift, when a woman walked past me holding the brightest cobalt-blue umbrella I'd ever seen. She caught my eye for half a second. Dark curls, oversized sweater, a kind of restless energy in the way she moved, and I don't know why, but that stupid umbrella stuck in my brain. That same night, I matched with someone on Hinge. Her name, Emily, 29. Her first photo, her standing under, a blue umbrella. I know. Suspiciously poetic, right? At the time, I thought it was just one of those city coincidences. Her profile wasn't extraordinary. Cute smile, a couple of hiking pics, one photo that felt a little too polished, like influencer-level lighting, but who doesn't curate their dating profiles these days? Her prompts were witty in a sarcastic way. A green flag I look for, people who actually read. My simple pleasure, rainy days and coffee. 2 truths and a lie. I speak Italian. I've lived in 4 countries. I hate sushi. By the way, the lie was sushi. She ate sushi like it was a competitive sport. We started messaging. It was easy. She answered fast, sometimes too fast, but I didn't think anything of it. I was just glad something finally felt fun after months of dead-end dates and half-hearted small talk. We met at an indie bar in the Arts District. She was even prettier in person. Same blue umbrella, dripping on the floor as she closed it, cheeks flushed from the cold. "Hey," she said, and it sounded like we'd met before. That familiarity threw me off more than it should have. Conversation flowed. We talked about books, travel stories, weird family traditions. She ordered whiskey neat, which didn't match the cozy sweater aesthetic, but somehow suited her perfectly. Still, throughout the night, something felt off. Not bad, just off. She dodged questions about her job, said she did editing work, but didn't specify what. She didn't talk about her family at all. And every once in a while, she'd scan the room in this subtle, controlled way, like she was checking exits without wanting me to notice. Halfway through the date, she said, I almost didn't match with you. Why? She shrugged. Your last photo. You look different than the rest. Different how? Like you weren't trying as hard, she said. Like it wasn't for the app. Funny enough, that was the only picture my friend snapped when I wasn't paying attention. She added, real is rare. I remember thinking about that sentence weirdly often afterward. We ended the night with a kiss outside the bar. She tasted like citrus and whiskey, and her hand slipped into mine like we'd done this 100 times before. I felt something warm, risky, addictive, but I also felt something uneasy brewing underneath. The next few weeks were fast. Too fast. She wanted to see me constantly. Coffee dates, late-night walks, spontaneous ramen trips. She'd show up at my place with pastries from my favorite bakery without me ever telling her it was my favorite. I pay attention, she would say with a smirk, but sometimes her attention felt a little too sharp, like a spotlight instead of a glow. She'd ask questions that felt strangely specific. Who else are you talking to on the apps? Your ex? Do you still text? What's your typical schedule look like? You usually take the 7:30 train, right? She noticed everything I did. What I wore, when I hesitated before answering, how long I took to respond. Still, she never raised her voice, never acted controlling. It was more like she was collecting data, meticulous little notes in an invisible notebook. One night, I found a hair tie under my bathroom sink after she'd showered at my place. It wasn't mine. It wasn't hers either. Wrong color, wrong style. She laughed it off. Oh, that must have fallen out of your laundry basket. But I don't own a laundry basket. I have a hamper. It was small, stupid, and I told myself I was overthinking. But the seed was planted. The weirdness ramped up gradually. Incident number 1, she got upset. Like genuinely upset. When I said I couldn't hang out because I had dinner plans with my coworkers. She wasn't angry exactly. More wounded. I just thought we were past the point of excuses, she said. Incident number 2, she showed up at my train stop one morning. I wanted to surprise you, she said, except I'd never told her which stop I used. Incident number 3, I caught her scrolling through my bookshelf and noticed her eyes lingering on the journal tucked between 2 novels. She didn't touch it, but she looked at it too long. "Just curious what you read," she said, too casually. About 2 months in, we planned a dinner date at her place. She lived in a small but very neat apartment, almost hotel room neat. Nothing personal on the walls except a framed abstract painting. No clutter, no photos, no trinkets, no sign of a life. She cooked pasta and opened a bottle of wine. Everything was fine until I went to grab a glass from the cabinet. There, tucked behind the plates, was a small notebook. I don't know why I opened it. Maybe because it was right next to where she told me to find the glasses, as if it were waiting. Maybe because my instincts finally screamed loud enough. Inside were pages of notes. About me, my routines, my habits, my preferences, dates and times of when I left the house, what I wore, how often I smiled, exact phrases I'd said on our dates. At the end of one page, "He's finally letting his guard down." My chest went cold. I put the notebook back, shut the cabinet, sat back at the table. She looked at me for a long second. "You okay?" she asked softly. "Yeah," I lied, but she knew. Of course she knew. She watched people the way a biologist watches specimens. The rest of the night felt like walking on cracked glass. When I left, she hugged me tighter than usual. "Don't disappear," she whispered. I didn't ghost her. I swear I didn't. I just slowed down, took longer to reply, said work was busy, said family stuff came up. She noticed immediately. Her texts shifted from sweet, "Hope your day's good, red heart," to needy, "I feel like you're pulling away," to sharp, "Just tell me what I did," to chillingly calm, "I thought we understood each other." That last one did something to me, a kind of clamp around my ribs. I decided I needed distance, real distance, but breaking up with someone who notices every change in breathing is harder than it sounds. So one night I called her. "I think we're moving too fast," I said. "I just need some space." Silence. Then she said, "I knew you'd say that." Not in an angry way, not surprised, just like she'd already logged it in her notes. "Okay," she added, "if that's what you want." Her calm unsettled me more than any yelling could have. We ended the call quietly. I thought that was that. I was wrong. For about 2 weeks, things were normal again. Until little things started happening. Someone buzzed my apartment at 2:14 a.m. 2 nights in a row. Didn't speak, just breathed. A package arrived that I didn't order. A blue umbrella. My coworker mentioned a girl with curly hair, asking which days I usually take lunch. My gym card got scanned at 9:46 p.m. even though I wasn't there. My journal moved half an inch on my desk. Every time I told myself it might be unrelated. But the human brain is great at connecting dots, especially when the dots start circling you. Then one night, this is the part that still tightens my throat, I stepped out of the shower and saw something written on the fogged mirror. "Real is rare." I never heard her enter. I never heard her leave. I didn't call the police. Stupid, I know. At the time, I convinced myself I couldn't prove anything. That maybe I wrote it earlier. That maybe I was cracking. But fear has a smell, and I wore it for weeks afterward. I eventually changed the locks, deleted the apps, blocked her number. I didn't see her again after that. But sometimes, on rainy days, I swear I see a flash of cobalt blue in the corner of my eye, a reflection in a store window, a figure turning a corner too smoothly. I don't know if it's her or just my brain replaying the bad parts. All I know is this: she wasn't malicious. She wasn't violent. She wasn't a villain. She was lonely, obsessive, intensely perceptive, painfully attached. That's what made it dangerous. Not the drama, not the threats, but the subtlety. The way she eased into my life like a shadow learning my shape. Most people think red flags in dating are loud, jealousy, anger, screaming matches. But the scariest kind? They're quiet. The person who learns you too fast. The person who accelerates intimacy unnaturally. The person who observes instead of shares. The person who studies you instead of knowing you. It doesn't have to be dramatic to be dangerous. So here's the lesson. Just because someone feels intense or special or familiar doesn't mean it's fate. Sometimes it's fixation. Move slow. Protect your boundaries. Pay attention to how much they pay attention. Even now, whenever it rains, I catch myself scanning crowds for blue umbrellas. Not because I'm scared anymore, but because now I know something I didn't know back then. People show you who they are early. You just have to listen before the warmth turns into the warning.